Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to the channel. In this video, what we're going to talk about is Hans Struelsen for governor. And, I've said this a lot before, but my goal is not to win the election and pass some laws. I don't even really care about winning. I just want people to understand these ideas. And like I said, listen, me winning doesn't matter. Whoever wants to win, great. Just we need to think differently. We need a new constitution. And the fundamental thing that has to change for people to be taken care of economically, physically, and socially and morally is we have to start abiding by the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And you may sit here and say, that doesn't affect me. I've never been to jail. I've never been arrested. I pay my taxes. My life's fine. Okay, great. Good job. But your life is not fine. People are depressed and miserable all the time. And you may be in the top 1% and have a happy life. You may be a Christian. If you're a Christian, you probably have a pretty happy life. But even so, there's lots of problems. America, I saw a recent poll, ranks at basically the top of most depressed nations. And I'm going to tell you the reason why. It's a simple principle. Whatever you plant grows, right? If you plant a thorn bush, you're not going to get grapes from it, right? If you plant hurting people and punishing people, which is what we do, you don't reap a harvest of amazing people. And I'm going to share with you why. This will really change your life forever. Anytime you punish someone, you can never create a good human from punishment. I'm going to say that again. You will never create a good human from punishment. Listen to this logical theory. It'll change your life. When you punish someone, you cause them pain, and therefore they will change for a selfish reason, which is to avoid pain. Therefore, they are becoming more self-centered. They learn how to fake the outward in order to look after them better. So you make a more selfish human. When instead you love them, they feel better. And because they feel better, guess what? They're more likely to love someone else. So you always create good people, not by hurting them, but instead by loving them. So the correct way to do a government is to get rid of punishment altogether. You cannot have punishment and be a good person at the same time. The golden rule doesn't say in some things. The golden rule doesn't say when you feel like it. The golden rule says in everything, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. So when you're dealing with, for example, criminal justice and all that, right now, the way that the system works is that you're found innocent or guilty, and then we punish you. No one wants to be punished. The definition of punishment is we're just going to do something to harm or hurt you. The sole goal is to wantonly inflict suffering and pain upon you. That's it. It's to just literally create suffering, to terrorize you, and the hope that you will stop a behavior that's unwanted. But the problem with that is this. Good people don't want to get into the government and punish bad people. They want to go become doctors. And so what happens is it actually becomes a vehicle where very bad people can get laws passed to punish people for doing good stuff. And what you plant grows. The more that you plant thorns, the more thorns you'll reap. And so I call upon the people of Texas to put Jesus first. When you deal with a courtroom and you say we're going to punish you, the people become more and more selfish, more and more angry. I saw I heard about a stabbing that occurred, and people wonder how it happened. I say we cannot have prison because prison causes this kind of thing, and people say no, you need prison. But at the end of the day, all the prisons in the world did not protect that person who got stabbed. Why not? It's because prison says we only punish you if you're guilty. That's the problem with the system. It only punishes people after they did the problem. So it's never going to fix it. Like our justice system it's not preventative. So as long as humans exist and we're not doing preventative measures, people are going to continue to get shot and stabbed and horrible stuff. Preventative measures mean once somebody gets hurt, we say it's our fault. We say that that murder is our fault and we take on the responsibility. And so what that looks like, and I think this is really important, is that we recognize that if that person had been raised well, if we'd been paying attention to them, if someone had stopped and said, "Hey, how are you doing, man?" And they say, "Good." And you stop and say, "No, really, how are you doing?" They start talking and say, "I'm doing awful. I'm depressed. My grades are bad," whatever it is. And we love that person. That person wouldn't have committed the crime, right? If there's racial issues, right? If we're working on racial issues and we talk to them and we love them, that crime wouldn't have been committed. By the time that crime was committed, it means that we have missed so many red flags. There were so many signs pointing to that happening. I mean, these things, when they happen, they don't happen in a box. Nobody scratches their head and is like, "Oh my gosh, how did he ever do that?" We know who's going to do it. We start seeing the warning signs, and our justice system does nothing. Then the crime happens and they arrest the person. And once they figure out who it was and arrested, they're like, "Case closed." And the system that created that person, the system that twisted and warped their mind into thinking that this horrible behavior was acceptable, it hasn't changed. The system, the broken system that we have, stays the same. And as the governor of Texas, I want to change that forever. What I want to do is create a system that runs how the Federal Aviation Administration runs. They say that flying commercial is the safest way to travel, and there's a reason. Whenever there's a crash in an airplane, they do a root cause analysis, and they don't stop until they know exactly why the airplane crashed, and they make absolutely certain that they have a policy and a procedure in place to make sure that accident never takes place. It's expensive getting on an airplane, but I'd rather pay $20 more for a ticket that means I'm probably going to survive than pay $20 less for a ticket that's like on an airplane that, is an experimental turboprop with, a guy working on it who doesn't even know anything about airplanes, right? And so the funny thing about the government is the Federal Aviation has figured out what to do. When there's a crash, they don't go find the engineers and throw them in jail. They find the engineers and they say, "Tell us what happened." And because the engineers aren't afraid of jail time, they say, "This is what we did." And there are plenty of times they find that the engineers made terrible, horrible decisions. But because they don't put people in jail, people are willing to cooperate. And because people are willing to cooperate, we can come up with systems to prevent another crash. And so what has to happen in the so-called criminal justice system is we have to stop doing barbaric practices of saying, "Who cares about the first time they murder? I just want to see them thrown in jail afterwards." That's the way our system functions. There can be all the red flags. The person can be posting death threats on social media, and we don't do anything. And the reason why is because our mindset is all about punishment. We're going to hurt someone. We're going to punish someone. We're going to hurt them. We're going to punish them. And we are so desperate to make money. That's the other thing. So what I want to do is create a completely brand new system. If someone starts posting death threats on social media, we can nip it in the bud arrest the person, lock them in jail, right? But at the end of the day, the person's going to say, I was joking. And then, we're violating their First Amendment rights. That's the punishment mindset. But the Christian mindset, right, which is what I think all of us strive for, I think everyone strives to have that mindset, right? Treat others how you would want to be treated. If you have that mindset, then what you're going to do is you're going to want to nip it in the bud the way that you would want it to be done. For example, if people are posting death threats, what needs to happen is someone needs to come and talk to that person, not arrest them. How do you get them to talk? Hey, we'd like to invite you to, maybe they're an introvert, to be a part of our video game conference or whatever. Maybe they don't have friends, so they don't stop and think. They've shot so many people in video games that they can't, they can't separate reality from, they can't separate the video game from their real life, and they they can't. Hey, come to our deal, and you invite them there, and you got drinks and stuff, and you talk to them, and they hang out, and then you have somebody talk to them one-on-one, and the person says, hey man, I really want to help you. We really want to help you work through these issues, and we really want to solve them for you. We work in the government, and we see that you're really angry about this stuff, and it's our job to go fix it. What can we do to help this? Because we don't want any problems, and people are getting really frustrated, and they're scared. And so what we want to do is come up with a way that we can solve your problems without you having to, pull out an AK-47, at an event. And you make friends with them, and you talk with them, and you actually treat them like a real human. And I'm going to tell you where a lot of this stuff comes from. It's horrible. It's your education. And it's not that your education in specific is well, education does cause issues, but it's not just that the education is causing it. It's that your education at school assumes that your parents taught you how to be a good person. So we're just going to teach you math and science and physics and reading. But the problem is, a lot of kids did not learn from their parents how to become a good person. Their parents may not be good people. Or their parents may be busy. Their parents may have had them sit and watch TV. We don't know anything about the character of these kids coming into school. And we're like, here, we'll teach you logic and reason and math and science. I'd always love to say this to people. So if you want to create a smart person, first make sure they're good. Otherwise, you'll make an evil genius, right? You want to teach people how to be good people, good character, before you teach them how to do math and science. Because a bad person who knows how to do math and science is more likely to do something horrible to the world, because they'll use their math and science to destroy us all. So the first thing that everyone needs to focus on in education is good character. And what I will change when I am the governor is this. We will have a system where we know whose parents are good, and they teach the kids how to be good. How do I define good? I'm going to tell you, this is really important. A good person is one who seeks to do good for others. A bad person is the one who looks out for their interest at the expense of others, right? The good person does everything for others. If they eat a meal, a truly good person will eat food saying, if I eat a good meal, I'll be able to do a better job taking care of someone today, right? That's what the most good person says. I'm eating this food for love, right? So I can take care of somebody. The bad person says, I'm eating this food because it tastes good for me. And I know that's hard to say that's a bad person, but if you're doing it for you, technically that means you're not being the most good that you could be, right? And I'm not judging you, right? We all say, hey, this is good food. I want to eat ice cream, whatever. Because it's important to take care of yourself, right? But the fact of life is this, and I think this is going to be life-changing. Right now, our school system says our goal is for you to be a productive citizen, and it doesn't have the other track that is this. Your parents are either bad people or didn't have time to teach you how to be a good person. We don't care if you know math. I don't care if you learn how to read. We care about the fact that when you're angry, you don't go do something incredibly violent and kill someone. We don't care about if you can do calculus. We care about the fact that you know how to ask for help and maybe even make a good resume. You know how to have fun doing good things to help others so you don't go burglarize a home. And I say this to people who are high functioning people you can't understand because you didn't grow up in a family where you never knew your dad and your mom was never there for you. Like, these kids literally have no instruction and training about how to become good people, and it's literally not their fault. They just don't know. And so there has to be a completely another track of your education so that when people are on the path that leads to destruction, they're starting to post on social media, you just notice they're hanging out with bad people, boom. You don't have to learn anything else ever again. You never have to do math. You never have to do science. We're going to take care of you. We're going to take you out motorcycle racing at the MotoGP track. We're going to take you driving fast cars. You're just going to go have fun. Literally. That's literally what they should do. Just go have fun. And I'm going to tell you why. When us random people from society just love on them and pour into these people that never had any fun at all in life, and we give them these experiences, we take all the money we would have spent on their so-called education and we put it into them being happy, they're going to have a positive feeling about the average person. That person helped pay for me to get to go ride motorcycles at 100 miles an hour around the track. Yeah, I almost died, but boy, did I enjoy it, right? They become happy and they have these good feelings towards society. And guess what? It's weird, but now they start posting about, hey, I did this MotoGP race thingy. And look at me. And they post their social media of them zooming down and everybody's like, yay. Are they going to invent the next AI force? Who knows? They might. I don't know, but it doesn't matter. What matters is that this was someone who was on the path that they were going to go steal a car or hold somebody up with a gun. And now they're posting that they got to have fun, riding motorcycles, thanks to us, to the taxpayer. The taxpayer gave them the best day of their life. And guess what they go do? They make friends, they go have fun, and now they have a purpose for life. That's what it is. It gives them a reason to live. And I'm going to tell you the reason to live, it's never that I'm going to make money. Nobody lives for that. You want to live because I believe, first off, you want to get to know God. But you also want to get to know the people around you and love them, right? Getting to know God means you get to do fun things every day and getting to love people and take care of them, right? And I think what has to happen as humans and as Christians and non-Christians is we have to recognize that we know where crime comes from. Hurting people hurt people. It's not complicated. And we don't pay attention to the signs. And when we do, we're like, we'll throw you in jail earlier. And it takes a life that was miserable and makes it worse. So this is really how I sum up this video. What we're going to do is we're going to take the time to make absolutely certain that what we do is we prioritize people's education of character, right? You can punish someone all you want, and all it does is make them think about themselves more. That's what bad people do. Me, 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 me. Or you can love someone and fulfill their dreams. You just give them Make-A-Wish when they didn't have cancer. And then they realize, hey, society loved me. I don't have to go murder that person there. I don't have to go steal that. Because those people have given me happiness. I want to help them. Hey, sir, can I please help you with your business? You gave me a great childhood, right? I don't know. What did I do? You paid some taxes, right? So anyways, I know this is kind of a crazy video, but that's my vision. And like I said, it doesn't matter if you're Republican or Democrat. If you're Republican, you believe in the golden rule, right? If you're Democrat, I think you guys don't believe in punishment anyways, right? So I hope and I pray that this video resonated with you. Please leave in the comments your opinion, because I'm just one guy. I cannot do this by myself. We are a massive state. But I love you all, and I truly pray for each one of you that you can think about this, talk about it, share it with your friends. Not just so I can get popular, but like literally, this is life changing to prevent crime from happening. We see the flags and we go love these people. It seems really like a no brainer after you hear about it, but I think it takes a lot of time to get the old stuff out, which is, hey, we solved the problem when we didn't. It's still there. People are still going to commit more crimes, and we don't even know why. That doesn't work. That's not a case closed. So, anyways, yeah, guys, hopefully you'll like this, share with your friends, and we'll talk about something else in the next video. So, yeah, Hans Trulson for governor, get the word out, and I'll see you in the next video.